Marc in Montreal. Marc, you're live with Eric and Zod. What would you like to talk about?
Hi.
Marc?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Yes. Okay, good. So basically, I've been raised in a house that is not religious, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But over the last few years, I've got really into these debates, all these online that I've seen on Facebook and YouTube and all. And I was really wondering about morality, how you would explain, like, I've seen all these videos online that would say that, like a society or a species would really thrive I see your face and I'm wondering what's going on.
Because I love Zod's video on it, dude, please.
Yeah, I've probably done more content explicitly addressing morality than any other single topic. It's one of my favorite. It's my least favorite thing to have thrown at me by an apologist who I know is going to take it in a certain direction and steer it back there no matter what I say. But I think it's one of the most fascinating things. And my own process of reinventing it as I came to not believe in God has been a deeply personal and really interesting to me. So what exactly is your question about morality again?
Yeah, so how morality or like having some kind of moral mindset might advantage some kind of species or society more, I guess. But wouldn't that be akin to social Darwinism, which could be used for a lot of darker things, like World War II, right?
I'm sorry,
So
you broke up for a minute.
I'm having a hard time. Okay, so basically, I'm wondering how would I call it? So, how do you explain that the behaviors that we see in some species and stuff like that, or even cultures, might prove to be helpful for a culture or social society or how is that different than which is Darwinism, which is pretty much.
Hey,
enough of this is.
I'm having a hard time.
I'm not really able to get the sense of the question.
Marc, you're roboting pretty bad there, buddy.
Okay.
If you want me to just give a really general sense of how I think morality works, are you asking essentially how it functions as a concept absent God or in a godless universe, without descending into like some sort of social Darwinism or something like that?
Yes, pretty much exactly.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, no, we'll try and keep you on. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think the essence of morality at its core, and this is a simplification, but I think the essence of morality at its core is the deferring of immediate gratification. Basically, you recognize that for your own eventual good, and more to the point, for the good of other people in society, you need to behave in a way that will help yourself and others in society without having negative long-term consequences. Whenever an action is moral, it pretty much avoids some kind of harm or disruption to people or society. That's really broadly stating it. But as far as how this works in a universe without God, God does not only is not necessary for morality, he doesn't enter into the concept at all. Because really, in order for you to have a sense of morality or a moral obligation to somebody, all you need is obligation to another being. So regardless of how we came about or whether there's an additional higher being, we can equally have a sense of obligation to another person or other people, broadly speaking. And so that's where we build our morality from.
I'm not arguing over God. As I said, I'm pretty much an atheist. I've been raised an atheist all my life. But it's just over the last few years when I tried to explain to myself morality, I've always had this wall. I don't know if my connection's better now. I moved.
Yeah, at this point I can hear you better. Yeah. And I don't think you were trying to argue for God, but usually I think I best understand morality by contrast with God, because that's usually the seed of doubt that people have put into our head. Without a higher being, how do we have morality? Do you feel like that? Is it all stuck in your head at all, or maybe part of your hang up is having believed that at some point?
No, it's much more about not say it's well, it sure is about wondering what's true, I guess, and philosophical question that I just keep asking myself, and I don't get. I'm having that hard point where morality, I cannot differentiate it from social Darwinism, which is wrong in so many ways, right?
Yeah, I think what it might help me to understand what exactly do you mean by social Darwinism, and how does it confuse your sense of what morality is?
I don't know. I guess I've seen so many articles online, or that it's been pretty much debunked, or that it was used for racist reasons. For example, World War II and stuff like that. And by going there, I'm always, when I'm arguing for this cultural or social evolution, I'm always afraid to go there. And what's the line, right? Of this. I don't know if maybe you can answer or not. Maybe I'm asking the wrong person, wrong people, maybe, you know.
I think a good question to ask, and it'll cut to the core of what you mean by morality. Now, I'm going back to the God thing, and I'm not saying that this is what you're advocating for. But one thing I said is, I've said before, if people ask what's wrong with murder in a universe without God, then I say back to them, what goes wrong if everybody's allowed to murder in a universe without God? And then when they explain, I say that's what's wrong with it. If you're wondering what's inadequate about social Darwinism as a tool for understanding morality, just ask yourself what goes wrong when people use social Darwinism as a tool to understand morality. And you can probably come up with some pretty easy answers to that, right? You have a picture of what goes downhill as far as abuses to other people and things like that. So when you recognize what you see as wrong with that, that's informing something of what you understand morality to be. I think you understand that we all have an obligation to our fellow humans to some extent, right?
Yes, and it's exactly why I would say that, you know, societies that help each other thrive more, and which would maybe explain why there would some societies work better. But then again, that is borderline social Darwinism, and this is what I'm afraid of.
It depends. Okay, so saying that society's working well is an aspect of morality does not necessarily lead you to social Darwinism. If it gets you to social Darwinism, that doesn't mean that idea of morality is bad or it's inadequate. It means that you probably haven't thought through well enough what a good, solid society is. If you take a society like Nazi Germany or whatever example you want to use as an example of social Darwinism at work, you probably would not see that was a good society that worked to the benefit of the people within it, right?
No,
or at least greatly failed certain people within it.
Absolutely not.
What's that?
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that answer, seeing where it failed, can help you refine what your understanding of a society benefiting from morality looks like, and realize that in very meaningful ways, societies that you would consider social Darwinist really did not meet that goal and did not meet their moral obligations. So really, they did not build a good society. In a very superficial way, somebody could say, well, it was good for certain people, but you can explain very clearly why it failed very many people, why it did not meet its obligation to many of the members of the society, and where it went wrong was where it caused harm to certain people. And so I think you're on the right track, that what benefits people and benefits society is morality. But social Darwinism just represents a short-sighted version of that. And just if you really think through any picture of morality where it just doesn't sit right inside you, or you feel like there's something wrong with it, just think through what went wrong. And when you'll do that, you'll come to a clear understanding of what morality is.
All right.
I don't know if that helps. Does that clarify anything for you?
Well, yeah, I guess it does a little bit. And I've seen a few comments in one particular comment in the chat telling me to for 2 links or like 2 papers. So I guess that would be helpful to look at. So that we'll look at those.
And check out Zod's channel.
Yeah, I actually did a few times. Actually, really weird to just put a face on Zod's.
and the catchy intro, for sure. Hey, Marc, thank you for calling in.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Take care.